So how to identify these potential cycle variations? Okay, so the first thing we have to focus on is this beautiful pyramid. So how to identify potential cycle variations? We have to start at the foundation, at the bottom, of course, and that is to monitor higher time frames. Again, it doesn't need to be the weekly, monthly, 1 hour, and if you really want to go deep, then the 4 hour, but 1 hour is enough. Trust me on that one. Again, you don't care what's going on in a monthly, weekly, or even 4 hours sometimes. From an intraday perspective, 1 hour is technically all you need. If you really want to do, you can do the 4 hour, but you don't need it. Okay. So if I show you how a time frame, it's usually always the 1 hour, or especially every one of us, because we don't usually go higher than that. But if you want to, you can. Okay. So our focus overall is still the M5 though, right? So even if you look at higher time frames, M5 will show us the cycle variation properly, now to identify it even when it happens, or before it happens even sometimes. And the higher time frame just gives us the proper understanding of what cycle variation we can expect and what makes sense on a bigger picture play, and gives us the overall orientation to have a clear guide of what should going on. Okay, so we have to take a deeper look at the higher time frame before we start our intraday analysis to prepare, okay, or to be prepared for potential cycle variation. Again, mark up the bigger picture cycles as we did before all the time. Again, it's the same cycles all over again. I will show you exactly how to do it in a speckle, right? But for now, just get in your head that you have to identify if there's a barrier-free, quote-unquote, barrier-free way, or if there's some sort of liquidity in the way. So let's say, okay, you have equal highs in here. And then, okay, that's the 1 hour though. And then you see, okay, Asia starts here. Okay, so guess what? If you have an inducement low here, and even inducing the medium and inducement in here, that's London. So what could I expect in here? Obviously grab the liquidity of the higher time frame. So boom, it could become a London knockout, because again, I'm in the 5 minute in here, yes, but on the 1 hour I have equal highs in here, and I have a medium inducement also. So guess what? I probably aim for the higher time frame liquidity, not just the Asia high, right? Because again, I have an inducement low, medium one as well, aim for the higher time frame liquidity. So swoop into the higher time frame liquidity, and then it becomes a London knockout. Then again, the next day could be something else, right? But again, at least in this scenario, I would know, perfect, I expect at least a London knockout because I have a higher time frame liquidity to the left as well. Okay, so very important, monitor higher time frames and mark up the cycles we have before that as well. Then clarify and mark up these key zones. Again, mark up the major or medium inducements, and if you have a mitigation already. Like again, easy example. If you have like a quadruple top in here, we faked the break of structure with the our technically medium inducement. Then we have Asia in here, so very close, forming an equal lows again. Boom, inducement of Asia low and also medium inducement in London. Huge liquidity point here. I have to mark it up before, because again, my Asia range is here, my Asia high, but my huge liquidity is all the way up here. So I have to mark it up before. Or for example, again, if you have this liquidity grabs, blah, 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 like something like this, and then whoop, induce this equal lows, and then let's, for example, say I have a mitigation now in here, and then I have my Asia range in here, and I have an inducement to, let's say, the high side this time. I have to know exactly, oh shit, that's already my medium inducement. We already had a mitigation of that. I don't expect an inducement low again, because we already had that. So what do we expect? So there's the rubber thing in here, or let's just make like this, boom, 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 right? So it can turn out into a retail heaven, because already we have a medium inducement or even major one. We had already a mitigation. Now we have inducement high side, but I want to trade away from, obviously, this. So it can turn into retail heaven. So that's how you have to mark up or mark out all these liquidity zones and mitigation zones before, so we have a better understanding of what to expect in an intraday perspective. And then the most important point also, wait again for the trap. That's why the M5 comes into place again. So we find our proper entry opportunities, our cycle plays of what's going on, and then again the M5 will give us the overall understanding of what cycle play to expect, also and how it looks like. Okay, especially Asian whipsaws, they're very easily to identify on the M5, not so easy like on the 1 hour, obviously, right? So let's dig into it to give a lot of more clean examples. So in this scenario, we have the 1 hour time frame, and again, we're marking up the overall cycles, the liquidity spots, what to expect, what happened, everything we see, right? So if we start all the way in here, so you can see the 1 hour, so I still have Asia ranges in here, and the day technically is over in here. So that's 1 day, that's 1 day, that's 1 day, that's 1 day, and so on and so forth. So get used to this picture also when you see, again, even if I don't say 1 hour in here, but you see the size of these Asia boxes, you should immediately see, oh, that's the 1 hour. Same thing for the M5, you should see, again, if that's the Asia range, and then the candles are like this should be the 5 minute. You should see that from a mile away then. Right? And again, if the 1 hour, it's the 1M, you should also see the difference of terms of the size of the candles, the size of the boxes in relation to the candles, and so on and so forth. So if you see the bigger picture, again, for now I say to you that's the 1 hour, but later on your eye should be so trained that you see it from a mile away that this is the 1 hour. They open, they close, 24 candles in between. Okay, you should see that immediately. Then, so what do we see? Build up. Getting induced in what direction? To the high side. So what do we expect? An inducement low, continuation lower. What do they even do before? Even nicer, giving even a fake break of structure. Again, reversal traders look for the reversal in here. Guess what they do before? Building up the equal lows. So guess what? That's Mona Lisa scenario in here. That's even, you should check the timing. Should be around magic manipulation minutes in here. Right, so guess what? We can take the reversal trade into the liquidity. Boom. Now we're having our medium inducement, inducing, first of all, equal lows, and obviously the bigger picture after the cycle or the fake break of structure happened to the high side, right? Then guess what? Medium inducement into a smart money trap. Obviously, smart money trap gives the false reaction to make continuation traders now, oh, it's a new lower low, continuation to the low side, right? So guess what? Getting the fake reaction out of her creates equal highs on the 5 minute, but obviously we see it also on the 1 hour, even very nice. And then guess what? That's your Mona Lisa scenario of a London open trap in here, right? So again, getting minor inducement out of Asia range with speed, momentum, vector candles, London open in here into the 1 hour mitigation zone of the medium inducement, Mona Lisa scenarios, and then of course what can we expect? London knockout. You see how we already can do it? It's so powerful you have no idea. Okay, and obviously this day ends. The next day again we have this huge tube upwards. Right, so guess what? Huge momentum traders jumping in. So if we're having inducement to low side in this next day, again, there's the next imbalance zone. We're to here, or technically this one only because here's technically wick. So that's the next imbalance zone. Induce low side. Again, you already can see what's going on here. Asia range. What's the inducement low side? Boom. Comes back. Asia midline. Continues lower into the next liquidity zone, right, and mitigate something in here, right? Perfect. But this turns out into a retail heaven. Again, we don't look for a random reversal trade of London just in here. Why? Why would you take a buy in here? It doesn't make any sense, right? So at least understand, okay, now it comes back, Asia midline, continues lower, fills the imbalances, the open price in here, we will dig also the Asia midline of the previous day, right? Perfect liquidity target zone. That makes sense, away from the medium inducement, but gives the pullback because we had a huge momentum up run. And of course, we have to give a pullback at some point, and that's what exactly happened in here. And next day, right, induces high in here, same exact scenario. We have this mitigation in here of Asia midline in the previous day, obviously getting a pullback, Same exact thing. Asia range, Asia midline, where's the imbalances from here to here. Fills the imbalances very late, but induced high first. So it obviously continues higher than understand. Builds up the bigger channel in the meantime. Induces the channel high into the extreme mitigation in here. When does it happen? Asia range, vector candles into a valid mitigation. Boom. That's your Mona Lisa sell in here. Your Mona Lisa re-entry London close in here. And then you can expect, obviously, choop down until what? Until the next mitigation zone in here. Right, you see? So guess what? Asia range. Induced low. When does it happen? London open to the minute. What a surprise! There you can already see. Every day is perfect. So guess what? Medium inducement into overall bigger picture 1 hour mitigation. So what can you expect? Choop. London knockout. What is it happening? Poof. London knockout. What a surprise. Okay. So I think you get the point. So let's actually get where we are right now. So we have the equal highs here and here. Okay. So guess what? Channel build up. Induce becomes obviously medium, if not even major inducement to the high side. When does it happen? London close. You learned the characteristic of that already. So it should induce and becomes medium or major. Okay, perfect. We have even the channel build up before that. So guess what? If we have this day now, and we are currently at this day, so we see Asia range just about to end, we have to mark up now what's going on here. We have a major medium inducement here. Okay, inducing all these crazy equal highs in here, having a channel build up, inducing it. So what's our next target zone? We understand now, okay, this probably becomes a small money trap, and the next liquidity point is in here. Okay, we already know that. Trading away from the medium major inducement. Okay, depending on how you see it, medium or major. Doesn't matter because it's medium anyways, definitely, so you want to trade away from that. So what's our next target, at least, for the overall picture? Right, again, next liquidity spots, maybe in here, maybe liquidity spots in here, smart money trap, or even the major liquidity in here. Okay, that's all stuff we see immediately, but we're trading away from the medium inducement. Perfect, we know it already. So if the day opens like this, what would be our Mona Lisa scenario? We had it very similar here as well. Takes out, boom, boom, major liquidity. That's the 1 hour zone. Look where Asia is about. What could that become? So let's mark it up. That's your major medium inducement zone. Right, so guess what? Oh, or you can see in the 1 hour what happened here. Wicked into the, let's take a look at the M5. Right, look what's going on here. So this day now, obviously broken down on M5. Look what's going on. Equal lows, or even triple bottoms, even left triple tops in here, or even quadruple tops in here. Smokes through it. Okay. What's the timing when it taps into the extreme of the 1 hour? Again, we can refine it like this on the M5. Look at the timing. London open, almost to the minute. Can it be even nicer than that? Can it be even nicer than that? Mona freaking Lisa. So guess what? What could we expect here? Trading away from the medium major inducement, we want to see it, like taking out major liquidity, right? Tagged into now major mitigation zone of the medium major inducement. London induces with vector candles and speed, only minor inducement though, into the medium mitigation and into the medium inducement. London makes the move. Huge triple bottoms in here. Our next liquidity zone is all the way down here. So what can this turn into? What can this turn into? Let me give you a hint. Whoosh. What is this? Not only Boyka knocking us out, but it's also a London knockout. Right? It could turn into a London knockout because again, we have London trap into it, trading away from the medium major inducement, huge liquidity downs, right? huge liquidity downwards, screaming too much, right? And we're trading away from the overall 1 hour picture, away from the medium major inducement. So this plane here, that's again, you should draw this on a piece of paper and put it over your bedroom, whatever pillow. And look at it every day before you go to sleep, because these things, again, we draw this stuff, whatever, almost, I think it's more than a year ago now, and we drew this stuff, and guess what? It's always the same stuff. We drew these illustrations years ago. And I tried that shit for years and years, but obviously when I made the curriculum, I drew it out again. Right? So guess what? Can this turn into a lockout? Fuck yes, it can. Okay, so guess what happens? Choop! Boom! You can expect that. Mona Lisa entry in here. Re-entry in here. Re-entry in here. And then boom! Don't expect a New York reversal. No. Continuation. Boom! Beautiful. Just chooped it. And it makes perfect sense. Okay, so let's take a look. What happened next? Because we continued it all day long. So guess what? The day ended like this. So the next day, open the, again, we're not interested in here. The day's over. We wait for what? Asia range to see what's going on. Again, because we go, is this a medium inducement? No. The day is over. We don't care. We don't care. Next place, we wait for Asia. And guess what? Now Asia gets induced to a low side. To a low side. Okay. Interesting. So, what's the question we have to ask ourselves? Do we have any liquidity grabs or mitigation areas for this day now? So again, all it needs is we take one line and like perfectly project it out to left. As you can clearly see, equal lows, not an inducement. Again, this one we don't care. It is way too off timing. Again, we care about this cycle plane here. Does it induce anything? No! Equal lows. Okay, so if anything, it builds up liquidity. So, but for an intraday picture, intraday I mean now this day in here, we have an inducement in what direction? Low. Okay. So, if we have an inducement low out of Asia, what cycle variation could this become? Trading away from the medium inducement. We have no liquidity taken to a low side. If anything, we build up liquidity in here. We still want to trade away from it. Our Mona Lisa in that scenario would be inducement high, but it didn't happen. So now we induced low. So what can we expect? We can expect a retail heaven. Boom. Okay, so it gives us a pullback, faking the double bottom, obviously, into mitigation, and continuing lower. Okay, perfect. So guess what? Next day, equal lows being grabbed. All right, but again, it happens very late. So now, very nice. Look what happens. Asia range. What's the inducement and what direction it happened? All right, first of all, we ask ourselves, do we have any liquidity grabs or mitigation in this stage? If you look to the left. So maybe this one, you'll be like, is this one medium inducement? In Asia, do we care about that in Asia? Do we really care? That's EU, by the way. Do we care if whatever this been taken out in Asia or very late of the day? Do we really care, or do we care about the major timing windows, London and everything? Right? So do we have any major liquidity grab? So whatever, like inducement could happen like this way, and we have to continue to that one side. The answer is no. We don't have any liquidity grabs or mitigation areas now. We don't. Okay, so guess what? If it taps into her, London, it's a different scenario. It did not. London taps into her. So technically, you can say maybe a mild no, and you can say, yes, this inducement in here tapped into the 1 hour imbalance fill. Then you're correct if you said yes then, but I'm referring to the downside if you should look for a reversal trade in here. So then it's no. But if you say this one fills the imbalance here, London to the minute, then yes, you can say yes. And then obviously you should know what you should do for, because in an intraday picture, we have an inducement high out of Asia. So what cycle play could that become? So now, again, we're having this scenario in here, tapped in there, London happens, next liquidity mitigation zone is down there. So again, if it taps into here, what can we expect? If it's a smart money trap, right, we can expect a reversal, pullback at least for intraday perspective. What is this day then becoming? If this is inducement high, this taps into here, smart money trap gives a reaction. So inducement high, reversal in here. What's that? It's the full daily cycle. So let's see. Boom. Okay, perfect. Gives us our Mona Lisa entries in here. Okay, induces low into the smart money trap. So question is, if this is a valid smart money trap, what should this smart money trap do? Fake a reaction. Very good if you answer that correctly. And guess what? Boom, there's your fake reaction. And why is that even nicer than just a fake reaction? So now again, think about all the confirmations these smart money traders have. It's a demand area. Break of structure. That's what they think. Exactly in that voice I just said it, right? So that's what they're thinking. So guess what? Fake break of structure out of a smart money trap. If that happens, it's pure gold. Okay, so don't get faked into the smart money thing again and focus on the next cycle. Right? So guess what? They opens like this. So we have a fake break of structure to the high side. Obviously, a huge liquidity is induced now to this side after price tapped into this demand zone, faking a break of structure. So everyone thinks like, oh yeah, reversal trade, it's an overall uptrend. Right? So guess what? Next day, we're having like this. Do we have any liquidity grabs for mitigation now? So again, this technically grabs a lot of liquidity to the wrong side. It gives a lot of confirmations after it taps into the demand area, break of structure. Everyone looks for the buy side, reversal, continuation, whatever you want to call it. Reversal traders in terms of like here, right? And continuation traders in the bigger picture, because they still see like some sort of interesting, I don't even know what they're seeing, but that's what they do. So the question is, what do we have? Do we have any major liquidity grab? After mitigation era, we had like this SMT false reaction, break of structure. Everyone is induced to a long side now. So do we have a liquidity grab? Yes. Okay. So we had the fake break of structure to the high side after and smart money trap. So, but from the intraday perspective, we have an inducement low out of Asia. So what cycle variation could that become? Again, we want to trade away from this fake break of structure. And obviously now this becomes a very obvious equal lows in here also. And we have our major liquidity down there. But obviously we want to trade away from this one now, right? But our inducement is low. So what cycle variation could that become if again our inducement happen here? And then inducement low. What is this? What is this? It could be the retail heaven. What a surprise. And what does it tap into? Talked about it. Asia midline. Boom. And guess what? That's how did they end it. And look how fucking juicy that now is. Okay, first of all, smoked internally the smart money traders. They're getting all frustrated, and guess what? They feel like, it just took out this far, but now we're having the whatever. It's still holding here, so it's still continuation higher, right? So guess what? Next day, and oh my god, look at it! How beautiful it is already! Come on! Oh my god! And by the way, obviously I took this trade and I just spoiled a little bit. It turned into a 1-to-100 trade. Okay, so and that's obviously very recent. Also, it was a couple of days ago when I recorded this video, so the 6th of July, right? Oh, technically this was the 4th. Or was it the 5th? Something of that. I can't remember correctly, but obviously we will dig into the intraday play in this as well, right? So guess what? For a bigger overall cycle play. Gold, like, oh my god. Okay, so again, equal lows being formed here. Now this one becomes the ultimate equal lows in here. fake the break of structure before that, induce people to lower highs at first, inducing this equal lows, stays inside this equal lows. Here was the imbalance, got filled. When did it get filled? In London. Oh my god. So guess what? We're still trading away from this major medium inducement, whatever you want to call it. Still have insane liquidity to the downside, which you want to grab. So guess what? Hard to identify what is going on here. Or like here in terms of the M5, right? So guess what we have in here, right? So guess what? Baby inducement to the low side, grabs into it, smokes through Asia range like nothing, taps into the higher time frame mitigation. So what is this cycle variation called? If it gives an inducement low, smokes through Asia range into another one, and then here. What is this called? Asia whipsaw. So we have either this variation of the Asia whipsaw or this variation. So now if we look at the bigger picture, again, now we tapped into this 1 hour mitigation zone perfectly when it happened perfectly in London. What a surprise, right? So guess what? Oh, sorry, my trade was 1 day after this one actually. That wasn't my 1-to-100 trade. My intraday trade will come after this one. I remember now, right? So guess what? Is this cycle variation a possibility? Again, now if you have to understand, okay, this one induced low, okay, this one induced low, smoke through Asia range, smoke through Asia range, okay, so is this the high? And we take back the low in here and take the high once again, or are we already into a 1 hour mitigation zone? And this makes way more sense. If we have inducement low, smoke through Asia range, into magic manipulation minutes. In this case, it was just London, perfectly fine. And then this one is to 1 hour mitigation, and then smokes into this direction. Is this more likely to happen here? Fuck yes. So guess what? This gets eliminated, and this cycle variation is in our arsenal. And guess what? It's like, what a surprise! Look what happened! Boom! Okay, so guess what? Now the Mona Lisa day comes. It's again every day is the Mona Lisa day if you understand what's going on. Imbalances, left equal lows in here, right? So guess what? Induced Asia range to the high side into again the 1 hour mitigation, so order flow in this scenario, right? So guess what? That was my 1-to-100 trade right here. Got confused because guess what? It's all the same. Look at it. Look at this day induced to the high side into 1 hour mitigation. Look at this day Asia range induced into the high 1 hour mitigation. What the fuck? What? It's all the same. It all looks the same. Okay, so do we have any major liquidity grab? Fuck yes. Because look at it. Into 1 hour mitigation area. After building equal lows. After this order flow in here. After this Mona Lisa day in here also. Another Mona Lisa day. Still never grabbed the equal lows in here. So you want to smoke it now. So guess what? From an intraday perspective, what would be our Mona Lisa cycle variation here? Inducement out of Asia range, high side into 1 hour mitigation, huge liquidity target to low side away from the medium inducement. What London play is that? Of course, another knockout. So guess what? Huge liquidity to a low side, H1 1 hour mitigation zone filling the imbalances. I'm talking about this one here, right? Into inducement into London, minor inducement into the 1 hour mitigation zone. It's too beautiful. It's just too beautiful. So guess what should happen next here? Hold on tight because the tube. Look at it. That's just how you're sitting in front of the charts holding this trade like. Is it expected though? Fuck yes. So guess what? Boom. Boom. That's just what's going on. Okay? So guess what? No, so again, I remember again, this, yeah, I was right on the first one. This was just a re-entry, but this one was my 1-to-100 trade. Yes, and then obviously you had again, everything looks the same. So I had it right, but guess what? Looking at the 1 hour, this was my actual trade. Right, so guess what? They have a very juicy re-entry in the next day even, and then just smoked it, but that was my 1-to-100 trade, yes. And I even made like a little real story, whatever you want to call it, about this trade in here, and then it even shows that it turned into a I made the story about a 1-to-90 because I've made it like in here, and then even it dropped even lower. So beautiful shit. Ended up like being a 1-to-34, something like that. Right. So what a surprise. Tubed it, and look at the M5, how beautiful it is. And guess what? Look at the illustration we even give you. Like, what? And again, we drew these illustrations like literally a year ago, and it's the same shit all over again. Like, just think about it. Like, seriously, just think about that. And guess what? We can continue every day. Next day. Right? Next day. So guess what? Equal lows being formed. Liquidity being grabbed in here. So guess what? We take a look at the M5. What is this again? Right? It's the 6th of July. Inducing low. Asia whipsaw. Guess what? What's that? Oh, I already said it. Look at this. Or look at this. We had it exactly before. It's the same exact shit. Exactly the same. Then this scenario, what would make more sense? Right? If you just look at the pictures. Again, we induced low. Asia whipsaw confirmed in here. Induced high. So again, do we expect to go lower, taking out this equal lows in here? Or do we expect like something like this? No, we expect obviously to get slower to take out the things in here. So guess what? At some point, ladies and gentlemen, it just should open the door so you can see and unfold the matrix of the market, because you literally can see these things before it happens. It's crazy. It's insane. So guess what happens? Chopped. Mona Lisa Day again. We walked through 2 weeks of price action. Every day is Mona Lisa. Every day. What? What? Like, what can we say? Inducing low. Asia whipsaw. Mona Lisa entries in her. Go look what we draw. We even give you the timing to it. Right? Again, if you just look at the time, that's 10, that's 11, so that's 10:30. So guess what is a price? Magic manipulation minutes, blah, blah, blah. In there, poo. What's this? New York trap. New York trap should continue lower. London close. Okay. It's so similar. We drew that shit a year ago. And we showed even examples from like half a year ago, now from fucking July. Like, what? You cannot be more accurate. Like, guess what? There's so much more. There's so much more. And I'm freaking out when I'm doing it. Look at it. 1 hour, whatever, what is this? It's in, my old eyes can see that. May. So that's May now. We had July, now it's May. Whatever, it's the same shit all over again. 1 hour, major inducement to the left. Right? So guess what? Boom. Major inducement. We confirmed that was the major inducement when it happened. New York trap. What is a price? We're trading away from that. So if you trade away from the major inducement, we have an inducement in London. What can we expect the next day? Giving also medium inducement, just to the speckle, but it's fair enough for medium one. Comes even lower one more time to give the extreme mitigation here. And then just out of it. London knockout. Next day, obviously, trading away from the major inducement. Becomes a retail heaven. Again, induces high. We don't look for reversal trades. We look for continuation trades. It's the same stuff all over again. You just need to get used to the cycle variations. Asia whipsaws, 2 days in a row. I'm not sure if you can see the dates in here, but for me it's covered because my Windows bars, but I think it was like April or something. We had like 2 days in a row being Asia whipsaws. Like, that's why they're completely showing you the hand. Guess what? Inducing high of Asia, smoking through the Asia range. Guess what? When should the next move happen? Even give you the time for it. Magic manipulation minutes. Can even say it. Magic manipulation minutes. Guess what? It was it. You should see the time to the downside here. It should be 10:30 or something like that. Inducing the high side as predicted. What is the price? And then makes a low and London close again. That should be obviously London close. I don't see the time, but it should be 17 to the minute. Next day, induced low, right? Medium inducement. So guess what? Should give a reaction. Boom. Did give a reaction. Confirms the Asia whipsaw into mitigation. And obviously, when does it happen? London open. Boom. Smokes through it and becomes the cycle variation. What? You all see that stuff before. You just have to identify, oh, okay, this is my medium inducement. I want to trade away from that now. Okay. The moment it smokes through Asia range like nothing into mitigation, so be like, oh, that's an Asia whipsaw. What's my cycle variation? Oh, here. So when should be the reversal? Oh, London close. You literally can hold it through all the stones as well. One more push lower. London close is the low. Like what? How much more can we give you? It's everything. Newborn, 7th of July. Right, so guess what? What a surprise. Build up, induce the build up to the high side. To go what? Lower, new build up, induce the build up to the low side. Frankfurt open. Just confirming the minor cycle play. Boom, smokes upwards. Smoking Asia range high. Even before it does even not inducement to low side of this channel. Induced high vector candles. Magic manipulation minutes. Confirming the Asia whipsaw. Like, like, what? I mean, we drew these illustrations again, like a year ago. Like, and it's the same shit every day. Okay? Confirming Asia whipsaw, so guess what you're expecting in the reverse, like a New York trap. Build up, inducement into a higher time frame. You can even backtest that. Just look at EU, 7th July. Find this mitigation zone. Taps into to the absolute minute. Induce the channel to the low side. And is out of the. What's that reversal? London close. Look at this. Oh my god! Again, me telling you we drew the cycle variations a year ago. You're just like, what? Not yet, but it's true. It's true. What can we say, right? It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's just at this point, it's insane. You literally have, so much. You literally in week 3, you know fucking everything. Like, think about that. Think about where you were 3 weeks ago, and now you just understand everything to the minute. Know what should happen before it even happens. Like, what? Just think about that. Insane. Build up, inducement, into mitigation, away from it. Boom. Build up, inducing low to go higher, confirming the London play. Whoop. Smokes through, leaves the imbalances, comes back again. Confirm the higher time frames. Why there's not an Asia whipsaw. Into extreme mitigation. Boom. Channeling downwards. Inducing low. Fully daily cycle confirmed. Inducing low. Break of structure. Into mitigation. Tube downward, upwards. Channel build up. Inducing high to go lower. Next channel build up. Inducing high to go lower. London play. Mitigation. Boom. Into liquidity grab. Equal triple tops in here. Takes it out. Turns into retail heaven. Okay, we know that. What a surprise. It's already expected. And then, boom, grabs next liquidity, pull back, right? Break of structure, into mitigation, continuation, boom. Effortless. Okay, another one. Build ups to both scenarios. What is this? Equal lows, triple bottom, smoking through it. London open plays. Again, what is going on here? Extreme mitigations getting tapped, turns into London knockout. We had this day even on the other scenario, right? It's just on a 5 minute to show you how it looks like in a 5 minute. Your entry opportunity obviously here and here. And then you have a good time holding that trade. Perfect stuff. Okay. On the overall picture, again, it's everywhere. Do this backtest yourself just to identify and get used to the cycle variations. Again, guess what? Build up, getting induced to the high side. Boom. London open to the, that's even like a magic manipulation minutes one. Even nicer. Only happens to the minute as well. What a surprise. Smokes through it. Right. Gives a nice cycle variation. daily cycle because we have a nice pullback area. Next day, London gets induced. That's probably medium inducement to the left in here, into mitigation, perfectly induced in here, internal breaker structures into the extreme mitigation. The London knockout. Again, we think we had that even before. No, it's just everything is so similar. We don't have that before, right? Guess what? That's your next demand area, getting induced to low side. Not interested before it hits anything else than like a proper zone. Again, Asia midlines, demand areas, induces low, comes back here, Asia midline, boom, speed, vector candle, inducing the channel to the downside with speed. When does it happen? London close, into valid demand area, internal breaker structures in here, gives another mitigation. Asia, we don't care, we sleep in that time. Perfect. Like it's so effortless. Seriously. Again, then obviously, yeah, we can do that all day long. Get used to it, right? Again, skip a few days to speed up because, like, I think we're 1 hour in already. Inducing low, medium inducement into mitigation area. What a juicy one. Perfect day. London open to the absolute minute. Boom. Aim for liquidity. London knockout. There we go. Right, here we go. What's going on here? Never induced anything in this direction other than here. Boom. Into this mitigation area. That's not a nice cycle variation play that we make next day, but now we have a mitigation in here. Trade away from this one. Order flow, trade away from it. Minor inducement to the high side. Obviously wants to go higher. Grabs liquidity here to continue higher. Away from this one, we're already into all. Everything is mitigated. There's no more liquidity grabs or mitigation and balance areas. Nothing. Trade away from that. Next day, where's your liquidity? It's all the way up here. So if it induces here, good enough. But obviously, we want to interest in the liquidity grab. Induce internal liquidity, goes higher. Next day, or this becomes your medium inducement. Next day, induced higher. Right? When does it happen? London into this medium inducement mitigation. Expect the London knockout. Boom. Effortless. Get used to it. Backtest it, and you will become, of course, like this. At this stage, you just don't not only dodge the bullets anymore, you just literally walk through there and observe what's going on. Insane. And just to round it up, again, how to trade these retail heavens, for example, because you feel like, how can we trade these cycle variations or retail heavens? It's like only continuations. How can we do it? Just look at 1 day. We use the simplicity approach for our assistance. Just look at this, you'd be like, where's the trades here? There's no possible entry opportunities. Wrong. Look at it. Build up. Inducements. Break of structures. Mitigations. Boom. Your entry if you want to trade Asia. Your entry if you want to trade Frankfurt. Your entry if you want to trade London. Or even New York. And your entry if you want to trade later. Everything is 100% backed by build-ups, inducements, after breaker structures, and then tagged into the mitigations. Insanity.